Okay, so today we have to discuss about the for loop. We have already discussed how we implement loop in Java in the form of for loop and do while loop. And today we'll be discussing how we can make use of for loop. For loop also performs the same function as the while loop and the do while loop performs. And there are three conditions or three important statements for any loop. First is the initial value, second is the condition, and third is the increment. So all these three statements which are required for controlling the loop are written in one place itself. So it is more compact loop and it is more readable also. So many programs that we can write using while loop, we prefer using for loop. So in for loop, again, I repeat all the statements which are required to control the execution of a loop. That is from where we have to start, how many times the loop will be repeated, and the increment. All is written at one place, and then you have the statements that will be executed when the condition is true. When the condition becomes false, will come outside. So if we can see the definition, the for loop is used when a definite number of loop iteration or repetition is required, similar to while loop or do while loop. Although while loop or do while loop can also be used to meet this requirement, the for loop provides us with a shorthand notation for this type of loop. Shorthand notation means it is everything is written in the same place. When we use a for loop, we indicate the starting value for the loop control, the condition that controls loop entry, and the increment or the decrement that alters the loop control variable all in one convenient place. So this is how we use the for loop. This is the syntax of the for loop and this is the definition. In one line, for loop is also one type of loop that performs the same function that we perform with the while loop or do while loop. The difference is that in for loop, all the three statements that are required for the execution of the loop statements are written at one place. Now, let us come to the live examples. I'll write one program, I'll copy. This will be a main function. I'll start with paste it. So this is loop. This also. This is a program to print from 1 to n using for loop. It's simple. Print 1 I same. Let us see how we write. So we start with the for. The important thing is that we can declare the variable here itself. I, I plus. Now, if we see here, this is the variable. It will be starting from 1. It will repeat 5 times, and every time the value I will be incremented by 1. So all the three statements are written here itself. And then the important thing is that usually we declare variable like this. And then we start with initialization or using the variable. First, we have to declare the variable, then we use the variable. But here we have one option that we can declare the variable here itself. This is also one convenient way of using for loop. So if you can see the number of lines, it has decreased a lot and it is also more readable. So how this will function, it will start from one, then it will go check the condition. Since the condition will be true, one is less than five, condition is true. So it will print the value of I, that is one. Again, it will come to the increment, and after incrementing, it will go to the condition. So first it comes to initialization, then to condition, then to the body, and then to increment, and then again. And this is the loop that is formed, and this will be repeated until unless the value of I becomes 6. When the value of I becomes 6, it will come out of the loop. So if we print system dot out dot println, so it will be printed after 5 times printing the value of I. So I'll try to execute and see how the output comes. Let's see. Let's give it some error. Let's see what is the error. So there was semicolon missing. I'll execute it again. Let us see. Okay. So it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then thank you. So this is how we use for loop in our program in Java. So this is the syntax, is a very simple program, just to understand how we use a for loop in our program. And now we'll move on to some more examples. I'll copy this. I'll try to start one more example here. So, paste here. Now this is the program to print table of number. See, so I'll print table of number using for loop. That means I will have to enter the value of n, then the value of t, and I we can declare it in the loop itself. Now, what we have to do, we have to make a variable of the scanner class. Scanner is equals to here scanner class. Why do we need this? Because we want to make input from the user, the number. And whenever we are using the scanner class, what we are required to import the package. And now we'll give a message to the user system out. Enter the number. Okay, so this will from the user to enter a number. The number has to be stored here. So we'll write sc dot next int. We have a next int function for integer input. So n we already have now. The value of n is there, and this will be executed 10 times. And here we will use the value of t by multiplying it by I. So suppose the value of n is 5. First time I is 1, so t will be 5 into 1. And we'll try to print the value of t. So it will be 5. Then it will again go up. I will be incremented. It becomes 2. 2 is less than 10. So it will print 5 into 2, 10. Next time it will be 3. 3 is less than 10. T is 5 into 3, 15. So it will print 15. And in this way, starting from 5, it will print up to 50. And then it will print thank you. So that's how we can use this program. I'll show you by executing the program. So it is asking to enter a number. Suppose we enter 5. So you can see first it is printing. You can scroll to see enter number 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then thank you. So it asked for a number. We entered the number and it is printing it this way. Now, this is the same program that we have already done in while loop also. The same logic we have implemented here. Whenever we have to print the table of a number, so we start with 1. We repeat 10 times. Every time we enter the loop, we multiply the number with this value of I. So first time the value of 5 will be 1. So it starts from 5 into 1, 5 into 2, 5 into 3, and it prints 10 times. So it will be used this way. Now suppose we want the output to be in a better way. Right now, what output we are getting is we enter the number and it starts printing 5, 10, 15. Suppose we want that after entering the number, it should print the table of 5 and then it should print 5 into 1 equals to 5, 5 into 2 equals to 10 in that way. So first of all, we'll print system of plus and table of 5. Now, let me run the program just to see how it is printing. Suppose we enter 3. And you can see it is printing table of 3, 3 signal. So this message table of 3 is being printed. Since here we have written table of n, so the value of n was 3, so it is printing 3. If we enter 5, it will print 5. If we enter 10, it will print 10, and this way the loop will be executed. Now, instead of printing 3, we want to print 3 into 1 equals to 3. So here, instead of the value of t, we have to mention n, then the multiplication symbol. Then first we have to print the value of n. Then we have to print the multiplication symbol. Then we have to print n into 1. Then we have to print the equals to symbol. And then we have to print the value of t. So now if you see this line, so first time 5 into I is 1. So 5 into 1 equals to 5. Next time when it comes, the value of n is constant, but I has changed to 2. And when I is 2, the value of t is 10. So 5 into 2 equals to 10. Next time, the value of I will be incremented to 3. So it will print 5 into 3 equals to 15. Then 5 into 4 equals to 20, then 5 into 5 equals to 25 this way. So the output, which was previously only 369, instead of 369, it will print 3 into 1 equals to 3, 3 into 2 equals to 6 in a proper manner. So now I'll try to run this program. And suppose we enter the value 4, and now you can see how it is printing. So first of all, it is printing table of 4. Then you can see it is printing 4 into 1 equals to 4, 4 into 2 equals to 8, 4 into 3 equals to 12, and this is repeated 10 times. Now, if you want to understand this line 4 into 1 equals to 4, just concentrate here in line number 13 of the program. So value of n is constant. So it is 4. Then there is a message in into sign. So we are printing the into sign in double quotes. The variable is printed in without quotes. Then whatever message is to be printed, it has to be in double quotes. Then again we have a variable, so it is outside the quote. Then we have to print equals to symbol, so it has to be in quotes, and then we have to print the value t. So whenever you have to print the value, it has to be outside the quotes. And whenever you have to print something fixed, it has to be within quotes. So in the line number 13, if you can concentrate, it is 5 into 1 equals to 5. Or if the number is 4, it will be 4 into 1 equals to 4. Next time value of 5 will be 2. So it will be 4 into 2 equals to 8. Then 4 into 3 equals to 12. So then 4 into 4 equals to 16. And in this way, I will be incremented every time. And as I will be incremented, the value of t will be also incremented, because the value of t is being calculated by multiplying the number with I. So in this way, a proper formatted output can also be printed in Java. So whatever value is to be printed, which is in the form of variable, it has to be outside the quotes, and whatever symbol is to be printed, it has to be in the quotes, and the variable and the symbol has to be concatenated with a plus symbol. So first we have to print the value of n, then plus we have to also print the value of x, plus we have to print the value of 5, plus we have to print the value of equals to, plus we have to print the value of t. So in this way, the output will be uh, properly user friendly, and user can understand better how things are being working with the help of program. So in this program, we are printing the table of a number, but the output is formatted, and the concept that we are using is that of a for loop. In for loop, again, we try to understand that the three variables are used in the same line. I is equals to 1, then I is less than 10, then I plus plus. Now, suppose we put it here, then it will not give any error, because first the value of I will be 1, it will be tested, condition will be true, so it will print 4 into 1 equals to 4, and then I will be incremented, and then it will go to this place, the place of increment. It will not find anything, so it will go to the condition. So if the body itself has the increment done, we can leave this space empty. But this is not a good practice. We use this concept in while loop and in do while loop. In for loop, usually we do not write it this way. But if you write it, it will not give any error, and it will print. In for loop, there has to be two semicolons. First semicolon is to for the starting. The second semicolon is for the test condition, and after the third statement, we do not write a semicolon. So the semicolon is only after the first statement and the second statement. In this way, we can write a for loop program. I'll try to give more examples on for loop. Let us see some more examples on for loop. Okay, so I'll start a new program. Example, this was 12, so we'll move to 13. Java. So we have a loop example here, and we'll try to add the Java dot package. Import Java dot package. So I'll try to import Java dot package, and here so this is the program to print the Fibonacci series. Program to print the Fibonacci series. Now, in Fibonacci series, what happens is we start with 1, then the second value is 1, and from third value it is the sum of previous two. So it is 2. The fourth value will be sum of previous two will be 3, then it will be 5, then it will be 8, then it will be 13, then it will be 13 plus 8, and so on. So the third variable is the sum of previous two variable. First two is constant. Fourth is the sum of previous two. So 3 is the sum of 1 and 2. 5 is the sum of 2 and 3. 8 is the sum of 5 and 3, and so on. So we have to print the Fibonacci series up to a certain number. So in Fibonacci series, 3 terms will always be active. First term, second term, and the value which is being printed. So we'll use 3 variables, T1, then T2, and then T3. Now what will happen? We'll take input from the user, how many times we have to print, and here we can say, instead of table, we will write Fibonacci series. And now what we have to do, T1 is always 1, T2 is always 1. So these two values are constant. So these two values will be printed outside the loop. I'll be printing system.out.println. So first we'll be printing T1 plus I'll break the line. Line break is /n, and then I'll print T2. So these two values will be printed, and here we'll set how many times we have to print. So 2 we have already printed, so we are starting with 2. And suppose the user wants 5 times to be printed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 times to be printed till 8. So if the value of n is 8, enter the, it is not a number, enter number of terms. Kitna terms that we have to print. So we have to print, suppose 2 terms. So it will be only 1 plus 1. And if it is so, let us try to understand it better. What is happening in Fibonacci series? Every third term is the sum of previous 2 terms, as we have shown it here. So first 2 terms are always fixed. So we have used T1 and T2 as 1, and we have printed. And then if the user says that he wants to print till 3, till 4, whatever value, so we'll be using loop for that. Now here what we have to do, T3 is equals to T1 plus T2, and then we'll print T3. So here we are printing T3, then first term will become the second term, and second term will have the value of the third term. So this way there will be a shift. So after see here, then line number 3. So first 1 is printed, then we have to print 2. So 2 will be T1 plus T2, it will print 2. Now once 2 is printed, so T1 will move from 1 to this place, and I'll explain it this way. When first time, when it is in the loop, this is T1, then we have this value is T2, and then we have this as T3. So T3 is T1 plus T2. Now second time, when it will print second time. So now this is T1, this is T2, and T3 will be 1 plus 2, 3. So this will be T3. The third time when it will go to inside the loop. So every time when it is going in the loop, it is shifting. So now T1 will be 2 and T2 will be 3. So T3 will be 5. So this way the shifting is happening. That is why in the loop we are writing T3 is equals to T1 plus T2. We are printing T3 and then we are shifting. Now shifting is done. The previous T1 is previous T2 is now T1. Previous T3 is now T2. So we are shifting towards right, and then we are trying to print the Fibonacci series. Now I'll execute the program to see how it is working. It is asking for number of terms. Suppose I say 2. So it will print only 1 and 1. And it will not enter the loop. I is equals, that is why we are starting from 2. First two terms are fixed. So we have to start from 2. So if we do not want any number after this, so will be this condition will be false. I is 2, 2 is less than 2, condition false is coming out of the loop. Now suppose we run the same program again and we printed 4. So 4 means it will print 4 terms. So it is printing 1, 1, 2, and 3. See, 1, 1, 2, and 3. 4 terms are getting printed. So this is how we print the Fibonacci series. Now suppose I run the program again. I want 6 terms. So you can see 6 terms are getting printed. 1, 1 is fixed, and then after 1, 1 there are 4 more terms, 2, 3, 5, and 8. In this way, we can print the Fibonacci series in Java using for loop. So this was the session in which we have discussed about only about the for loop. We can write a lot of program using for loop. In the coming session, we will be discussing nested loop, wherein one loop can have another loop. So this is the session where we have discussed few programs, how we can understand the working of the for loop in Java and how we can print the values using the for loop. I'll be sharing these examples in through the WhatsApp or through the group, and also this program will be uploaded for you. Thank you very much.